All right, hey everyone, and welcome to our webinar. We're going to give everyone just a couple more minutes to get in and get everything set up, and we'll get started in just a second here. Thanks. All right, hi everyone, and welcome to our webinar on increasing graduation rates with new pregnancy prevention resources for your students. Before we get started, I want to introduce you to today's speakers. I am Kelly Mitchell. I'm our Director of Strategic and Affiliate Operations here at A Step Ahead Foundation. I'm here with Nikki Gibbs, our Director of Training and Partnerships, and Belinda Simpson, our Director of Community Outreach. And as you may know, this is a partnership between A Step Ahead Foundation, the Tennessee Board of Regents, and the Tennessee Higher Education Commission, and we're really excited to be working with them today. Before we really get going, I have two special welcomes for you, and we'll get those going now.
Hello, I'm Dr. Heidi Lemming, Vice Chancellor for Student Success at the Tennessee Board of Regents. Welcome to this webinar hosted by A Step Ahead Foundation. A Step Ahead Foundation works towards helping individuals make informed choices about family planning. We believe A Step Ahead Foundation can be a valuable resource to our institutions. TBR's ultimate objective is to increase graduation rates of all of our students by helping students achieve their life and educational goals. Enjoy the webinar.
All right, and now we have a special welcome from the founder and CEO of A Step Ahead Foundation, Claudia Halton.
Thank you, Kelly. I want to welcome all of you to this special webinar, and I want to give a particular thanks to Dr. Heidi Lemming, the Vice Chancellor for Student Success at Tennessee Board of Regents. I want to thank also Chancellor Flora Tidings of the Tennessee Board of Regents, and also thank Mike Krause, the Executive Director of the Tennessee Higher Education Commission. All of these educational leaders have supported this webinar and the message that we hope will increase graduation rates and increase the success of your students. Now, just for your information, where is A Step Ahead Foundation? How can you utilize our services? We'll get into that in more detail, but as you look at this, you can see that Memphis and Shelby County has a major outreach with A Step Ahead Foundation. Jackson, rural West Tennessee also is a site with A Step Ahead outreach. Nashville, Middle Tennessee, Chattanooga, Southeast Tennessee, and Knoxville in East Tennessee. Each of these centers is expanding to all surrounding counties. And as each center grows and each county grows, the outreach expands. Tri-Cities is coming, and they have a board formed and are filing for their 501c3 soon. We want to thank you for knowing about A Step Ahead Foundation, and now we'll turn it over to our next speakers.
Hello, I'm Belinda Simpson, Director of Community Outreach for A Step Ahead Foundation in Memphis and Shelby County. So I'm going to talk to you about our mission, vision, and our history. So A Step Ahead was founded in Memphis, Tennessee in 2011, and as Claudia said, we have since expanded. We are a community resource that encourages women to graduate first before starting or adding to their families. We do this by providing LARC methods, the long-acting reversible contraceptives, at no cost to the women who want them. So how does that work? So let's look at our A Step Ahead model. So A Step Ahead staff and volunteers are out in the community in Shelby County every day. We are encountering women that might need our services. We present it as a resource and a resource only. So once they are interacting with our staff and volunteers, they call our call center number, which is 320-STEP, and they are connected to a live voice 24 hours a day for an appointment. So once you call this number, you will be asked a couple of questions. One is your zip code, and that helps us to connect you to our closest partner clinic in Shelby County. And in Shelby County, we have 22, I'm sorry, we have 22 clinics. And we'll also want to know this information so that we can provide you transportation. In Shelby County, we offer free cab rides, but in different parts of the state, there are different modes of transportation, but they are always free and available to the patient. Once a woman receives her appointment and she arrives for her appointment, she speaks with the healthcare provider. This is where the patient and the healthcare provider, they sit down and discuss which method works best for that patient. A Step Ahead does not have any say in which method she chooses. We are the resource to help her select one of the methods that we offer, but the patient and the doctor decide which works best for them. So once they decide this, then the patient is also receives a well woman exam, a STI test, a pregnancy test, and a pap smear if needed. All this is at no cost to the woman. This is all a part of her appointment. Then the woman receives the most effective reversible birth control that we have available, and it is still no cost to her. The clinic then bills A Step Ahead, and we cover all of the services I previously mentioned. We are able to do this through generous donations from private donors and foundations. So again, our message and our resources to help women to effectively plan their lives, plan their futures, and plan their babies. And again, we also offer free transportation and appointment reminders. Now that we've talked about what we do and how we do it, let's talk about how that translates in the community. So since we were founded in 2011, the decrease in teenage pregnancy rate has been 38.8%, with a 39% decrease in abortions. Because of all of our wonderful services and work that is happening in our community, we are able to help our community at large. And also, let's mention that so far in Shelby County, we have awarded $700,000 in scholarships to women in Shelby County ages 17 to 35 to help them to continue their education, to plan their lives, plan their futures, and plan their families.
Okay, thanks, Belinda. I hope you guys enjoyed getting to hear a little bit about A Step Ahead Foundation. The great statistics you're seeing on the screen right now, this is in Shelby County since we were founded here in 2011. We are seeing really fantastic progress in all of our newer locations as well. And so if you're listening in from East Tennessee or from Middle Tennessee, know that you are in good hands with your local A Step Ahead Foundation. But before we move on, I want to do a quick poll, and I want to hear from you guys on how much you think unintended pregnancy increases graduation rates. So I'm just going to put this poll out there, and if you guys could answer that with your opinion. All right. So this is great. It looks like everyone here thinks it's important. And so you're in the right place because here today we're going to share with you a little bit of information about graduation rates and how they're affected by unintended pregnancy, as well as some resources that we've developed for you guys and compiled for you guys to help you address unintended pregnancy on your campuses and serve your students. All right, so did you know 9 in 10 community college students say that an unplanned pregnancy would make it harder to achieve their goals. So not only do we know that it is important to avoid having a pregnancy or another pregnancy while you're working to achieve your academic goals, we know that students are recognizing that. And so because of this, we've seen through research that students are really open to hearing more about preventing pregnancy. And here's a few more of the major stats for you. 61% of community college students who have children after enrolling do not graduate. That's a really alarming statistic. Because of course, I think all of us here, we want to see more graduation rates. I hope you saw from the services that we provided a step ahead that although we do focus heavily on birth control, we're about so much more, and we are really here to make sure that women are able to achieve their goals, and a huge part of that is academic success, and that's why we provide that scholarship that we spoke about earlier. Additionally, 48% of community college students have either been pregnant or caused a pregnancy, and that's a stat that kind of floored us here at A Step Ahead. That shows that talking about unplanned pregnancy and how it affects your academic goals, it's really important and it's a pressing need. And that's why we're here today. And in addition to how it affects the students, we also see that it could have a larger effect on our community, and that by reducing rates of unplanned pregnancy, we could see huge savings in teen care cost. And these are just a few more statistics. I won't go through all of them, and these are just a few of the many facts that we've gotten out of research that show that this really is a pressing issue. There are over 2 million college-age women who become pregnant each year, and that's ages 18 to 24. A lot of times when we think about unplanned pregnancy and teen pregnancy, we look at rates of pregnancy among high school students. But in reality, the largest amount of unplanned pregnancy is actually seen in the age group of 18 to 24. And we see a huge amount of that age group in higher education. And so we also see that unplanned births account for nearly 1 in 10 dropouts among female students in community colleges, and 7% of dropouts among community college students overall. A recent economic study out of Memphis here showed that if we were able to reduce rates of unintended pregnancy in higher education in Tennessee, we could see graduation rates continue to go up by as much as 10%, if not more. So I'm going to turn it over to Nikki Gibbs, our Director of Training and Partnerships. But first, I want to hear from you guys one more time on a poll. And I want to hear, we've already heard from you, and this is exciting that you value the importance of unintended pregnancy and how that affects graduation rates. But I want to know how comfortable you would feel speaking with your students about pregnancy prevention. So if you could fill out this poll real quick, I'd appreciate it. All right, we just got a few more votes coming in. If you haven't put in your answer, if you want to go ahead and do that, and then we'll move on. All right, thank you guys for voting. It looks like we've got a bit of difference here. I'm going to share these results. Yeah, so we're seeing some of you are very comfortable and some of you are not at all comfortable. So we've got a pretty even split. I was really surprised to see such a high rate of very comfortable. That has not been our experience. So I'm really excited that you guys are ready to share those results. And if you're uncomfortable or if you didn't vote and you're uncomfortable, we're here to hopefully help you out on that a bit.
Hi, everyone. Thanks again, Kelly, for introducing me. My name is Nikki Gibbs. I'm our Director of Partnerships and Training. So let's talk about the methods. Long-acting reversible contraceptives. They can change lives of teens and families. One of the methods that we provide is the implant, and that implant is the Nexplanon. And we also provide the IUDs. They're non-hormonal, which would be the Paragard, and the hormonal, which could be the Mirena, which lasts up to 5 years, the Kyleena, which lasts up to 5 years, the Skyla is 3 years, and the Loletta, which is also 3 years. So first we'll talk about the Nexplanon. The Nexplanon is a contraceptive implant. It's inserted in the upper arm where it's out of view. So if a woman writes with her left hand, it goes in her right hand, which would be her non-dominant arm. And it works for up to 3 years. So in terms of college and retention rate, a young woman can go to school her freshman year, get her Nexplanon, and she can finish school or halfway finish school and still be protected from an unplanned pregnancy. And she can plan her life, her future, and her babies the way she sees fit. And I think one of the most impressive things about this birth control is it's over 99% effective. And if a woman wants to become pregnant, the device can be removed and she can get pregnant at any time after that. The next method we'll talk about is the Mirena. The Mirena is an intrauterine device. It's soft, flexible, and it's T-shaped. It's a hormonal birth control method. It works for up to 5 years. And much like the Nexplanon, it's over 99% effective. And if a woman wants to become pregnant, she gets the device removed and she can get pregnant. It's all about giving women an opportunity to plan and space their babies. And in the case of young women, they can focus on school or whatever else their present issues are outside of worrying about an unplanned pregnancy. The Paragard. The Paragard is a non-hormonal IUD. It releases copper ions that act as a spermicide. And this one can work up to 10 years. It's over 99% effective. And once a woman gets it removed, or a young woman, she returns to fertility immediately. So how do you start this conversation? A lot of you said that you felt comfortable, but for some people it's not so comfortable. So one of the most important things that I can tell you is don't force it. No one knows your students better than you do. And if you don't feel that it's an appropriate time to bring up pregnancy prevention, that's okay. But if you see an opportunity to engage them and bring the topic up, please feel free to do it in an appropriate manner. It's not personal. Consider handing out materials to multiple students at a time, or giving out a few copies of materials to students and letting them know that they can give them to anyone that they think might be interested in receiving this information. Another way is leaving materials in easy to access places where students can pick them up at their convenience.
All right, and we mentioned, this is Kelly Mitchell again. We mentioned leaving resources in an easy to find place, or handing out pamphlets to students, and you might be thinking, well, I don't have any of those, and that's okay. We're here to share some with you. So up on your screen right now, you will see a URL, and that is a stepaheadfoundation.org/college resources. And when you go to that page, you're going to see a variety of resources. And we have a bunch of things up right now, and we're going to be constantly updating it to make sure you have the most up-to-date, state-of-the-art materials to share with your students. This includes some activities, some worksheets. It can include some other webinars. After this webinar is finished, we'll have the recording posted online. And also some online lesson plans that you can share with your students. And we'll have that URL at the bottom of all of these slides. And in a follow-up email, you'll receive information about it. So what can colleges do? I want to talk about just some different ways that you can think about incorporating the resources that we have compiled for you, as well as other information about unplanned pregnancy into your day-to-day lives. We know how busy you all are, and you're already doing so much to support your students, so you might be thinking, how in the world am I going to incorporate more? Well, we advise you to get creative and also to use some of these tips. And we hope that you'll be able to find ways to incorporate it in some of these different ways. So one way that you can go ahead and talk about unplanned pregnancy is incorporate it into support services that are already there. You might have a speaker at orientation during a first year experience course or other college success courses. Any sort of event that's already happening, you might consider having a speaker from your local health department or a nearby nonprofit. If you're near a Step Ahead Foundation, we would love to send out a representative to speak about our services, to speak about how to think about planning your pregnancy so that you can achieve academic success. You can also just have flyers available around campus. That might mean just tacking on a poster to a bulletin board. It might mean leaving some flyers in a restroom or taping them up on the back of bathroom stall walls. And we actually will have all sorts of flyers that you can do that with available for you. You can also integrate this information into your courses. So if you're a faculty member or if you want to share this information with a faculty member, there's a lot of opportunities to incorporate this information into your existing academic courses. On our website, you'll find a budget planning worksheet that talks about, the cost of an unplanned pregnancy, and you might be able to use that as an in-class activity. You also might be able to incorporate that into an economics class. You can get creative, what does inflation look like and how has that affected the cost of diapers? There's all sorts of different creative ways that you can incorporate this into your lesson plans. You can also assign our online lessons, which again, you'll find at our college resources page, as a homework activity or an extra credit assignment. And again, don't be afraid to get creative. There's examples of statistics professors who have done assignments examining trends in unplanned pregnancy. And you can maybe do a journal on pregnancy if it's a creative writing course, or complete an analysis of the economic benefits of increased access to and education about birth control. And there's a lot of literature on that, and hopefully your students would enjoy diving into that research. So another way is just to raise awareness, provide resources about the connection between unplanned pregnancy and completion. You can consider adding information from our college resources site or information that you've identified yourself to your school's website, or share resources on your social media channel. You might invite your faculty to email students, maybe in a student newsletter. You can include a link to information or a resource website. And again, you might want to bring in a speaker from a local nonprofit health department, or of course from your nearest location of a Step Ahead Foundation. And if you are interested, and you'll see this URL in a bit as well, but you can find your nearest A Step Ahead location by visiting getfreebirthcontrol.org. And that will show you our main offices, and you'll be able to find information about contacting each location and the communities that are served. So connect students to health services. If you're, again, in one of the areas served by a Step Ahead Foundation, make sure your students know about us. They qualify for birth control absolutely free. And again, there it is. Getfreebirthcontrol.org has a list of our offices. You can also, visit this page, this college resources page, and you'll see a file titled List of Health Departments and Contact Information. The Tennessee Department of Health has done a really good job of doing what they can to make birth control available at all of their health departments. So every county has a health department, and they are all listed on this sheet. So I would encourage you to look at this sheet, share it with your students, and identify your county's health department. And there's a phone number listed. You can call them and find out, what sort of birth control they have available. And it's normally either free or on a sliding scale. And if you're a school with on-campus health services, always direct students there. And I'm sure you have some really capable health faculty who can talk about, these issues. So again, I just wanted to thank you guys for being here today. I hope you found this valuable, and will consider visiting our website. And that's, again, astepaheadfoundation.org/college resources. And you can find out more about A Step Ahead on our website while you're there. And I encourage you to check back every once in a while, because we will continue adding to that page as we identify more and more resources that we think could be helpful. And again, we're A Step Ahead Foundation, and we provide free birth control to any woman in the communities we serve, absolutely free. And those aren't just any methods of birth control. Those are the most effective forms of reversible birth control, and that's the IUDs and implants. It doesn't matter if you have health insurance. It doesn't matter, what your income is. We're here to make sure that any woman can access birth control absolutely free. If you have any questions for us, you can visit us at astepaheadfoundation.org or at any of these social media handles that you see listed below. And if anyone has any questions, you can go ahead and type those in to your right. And here we have one question. Do we have a reference page for the data you used? So all of the information that was used in today's slide either comes from the stats on A Step Ahead Success. Those come from the Tennessee Department of Health. And the unplanned pregnancy and graduation rates, these come from Power to Decide, formerly the National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy. And you'll see a lot of their resources on that resource page. All of the resources listed will have citations at the bottom to show where these resources are coming from and where they're getting their information. All right, I hope this has been helpful. You guys have been wonderful, and thank you so much. You'll be receiving a follow-up email with links to this webinar, and I am typing in my email that you will see in the chat, and you can email me with any questions at all, or you'll find our information on our website. And my email is kelly@astepaheadfoundation.org, and that is Kelly, Kellie, at astepaheadfoundation.org. And again, on our website, you can find our contact information as well. Thank you guys so much. I hope you've enjoyed this webinar, and I hope that you'll share it with your friends who are unable to attend today. Thank you.